Hello everyone. In this CodeChef Creator Hunt, I will try to explain you this very legendary problem, legendary coin change problem. Its code is CTY2. So you can view this problem on codechef.com by name or its code CTY2. So I will try to explain you this problem very briefly in 5 different ways. All 5 different ways are very important. So it will give you an idea how to use DP dynamic programming or recursive solution in different problems. So firstly I will discuss recursive solution, then recursive plus memoization, then DP problems, then reducing space complexity in dynamic programming solution. Also I will tell about this problem with respect to an interviewer. So like what questions he will ask by I have written this code. So why I have written this code? He will ask me. So you should able to tell like what difference does this make if this code is not here. Also some base conditions, like we have to use some base condition in recursive as well as dynamic programming solution. So why we write those base conditions? Saving space complexity in DP. Okay, we will see this. And while looping, you have seen in dynamic programming solution, we will use loop. So like why we will use loop like this and then we go downwards. So why we are looping like this? First we go this and then we go like this. Also if you want to first move downwards and then rightwards, so what conditions you have to keep in mind if you have to do like this? So I will try to explain you this. Okay, so let's start. So let's see first solution, that is recursive. So let's start with an example. You have n is equals to 4, k is equals to 10. So the question is, first of all, you have number of denominations of coins like 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 10 rupee, 5 rupee, and you have to make a sum that counts to k, that is 10 here in the example. So you can use any number of denomination, any number of time to make a sum k. Okay. So start with an example. Let's say you have n is equals to 4, k is equals to 10. So you have 4 denomination coins and you have to make sum k is equals to 10. So the 4 denomination coins are 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 3 rupees, 6 rupees. Okay, and you have to make sum 10. So in this type of problems, how you should approach this problem? So start with like this. Either you will take 2 in the sum or you won't take it. This is a very simple approach. You should take it or leave it. There is only two solutions. If you take it, if you take 2 in the solution, so now what will be the value of k? K will be 10 minus 2 because you have taken it 8. 10 minus 2 equals to 8. Or if you don't take it, if you leave the 2 denominated coin, you have 5, 3, 6 and the sum will be 10 because you haven't taken 2. So now we have two problems like this and this. In this you have again 4 denominations and you have to make the sum k is equals to 8, and in this you have 3 denomination coin and you have to make the sum k is equals to 10. So in recursion what we do, if we apply the similar approach in every problem, we divide the large problem in smaller problems. Okay, so now we will try to divide this problem up to the end and watch the solution. So 2, 5, 3, 6, 8, 5, 3, 6 and 10 is the sum we have to make. So again, either you will take the 2 as a coin or you won't take it. If you won't take it, then 5, 3, 6 and the sum you have to make is again 8. Or if you take the 2, so 2, 5, 3, 6, again 8 minus 2 is equals to 6. Why I am taking 2 this again in the denominations? So see, if you have taken 2, then you can use it again and again. You can make the whole 8 by using 2. So I am taking it again. But if you are leaving it, if you don't want to take 2 in the sum, then I am not taking it here because I have decided that I won't use 2 in my future in this. Okay, so now let's watch this. If you have 5, 3, 6 and you have to make sum k is equals to 8, what I will do? I will take 5 or I leave it. If I take it, then again the sum we have to make from these denomination is 8 minus 5 is equals to 3. 8 minus 5 is equals to 3. Okay, if we watch this, 5 3 6 5. Okay, so I have to make sum equals to 5, and I can use denomination 5 3 and 6. So if I use 5, then 5 3 6, and then the sum we have to make is 5 minus 5 equals to 0. So when I am coming here, I have used some denominations, and now my sum is equals to 0. It means I don't have to take any another coin to make the sum k is equals to 0, because 0 for 0 I don't want to take anything. So this is our required solution. This is our one way. You can see here also, like we are using 2 2 2 2 10 8 6 4. At the last you will get 2 5 3 6, and sum you have to make is 0. So this will be one more way. Also, now watch a base condition. You have seen this 5 3 6, and the sum you have to make is 3. So if you take 5 as a denomination, what you get? 3 minus 5 minus 2. Now minus 2 is impossible. This is an absurd thing. So this will be my base case. If the sum we have to make is getting less than 0, then I can't do this. This is impossible. Like how can I make a change of minus 2? So my base condition will be k must always be greater than equals to 0. Okay? And also, let's say by doing, okay, watch this, 6 and 10. If I go after this, I will use 6. Okay, so I am not, okay, I won't say 6, and I have to make the sum 10. Now you are not left with any denomination, and you still have to make the sum k is equals to 10. This is not possible. So what you have to do, you have to stop here. You don't have to go after this. So this will be by one more base condition, that start will always be less than equals to 1. Because you can take n denominations, but after those denominations you can't take anything. You won't have any denomination. So this is the approach to do this type of questions. You can also apply this approach in different problems, like knapsack problem. You use this kind of approach, not like exact this, similar to this. Okay, so let's move to the code. So this is the code for the recursive approach of the problem, and so let's see. Integer coins, we have a coin array. This coin array have n denominations, having the number type of denominations like 2 rupee, 3 rupee, 5 rupee, 6 rupee, and you have to make the sum k. You have to make the sum k from the given coin denominations and start. So I have maintained a start pointer. So I have told you that in 2 3 5 6, either you will use 2 or you will remove that 2. If you are removing that 2, if you don't want to use it, so how will you remove this? For doing this, I am maintaining a start pointer. If a start pointer is on 3, so I won't use 2. If a start pointer is on 3, I will use 3. If a start pointer is on 5, I will use 5. If a start pointer on 6, I will use 6. So this is the work of my start pointer. So start with the code. If k is equals to 0, then return 1. So I have told you that if the required sum is 0, so there is only one possible way to do that, like you don't take any denomination. So one way, again, if k is equals to 0, you have to make sum 0. And how would you do that? You won't take any denomination from the coins, so you will get the sum equals to 0. So there is only one way. If k is less than 0, return 0. I have told you in the approach that if k is less than 0, this is impossible. This is an absurd thing. If your k is less than 0, then you won't be able to use any denomination and make the sum k which is less than 0. So if k is less than 0, there is no possible way. Okay, so this is my second base condition. If start is greater than equals to n, listen this very carefully. If start is greater than equals to n, so you won't be able to take any denomination, because you have up to n minus 1 denomination. Starting from 0, you have n minus 1 denominations. So n, as zero base indexing in coding problems we use zero base indexing. So if the start is greater than equals to n, even it is equals to n, then you won't be able to take any denomination. So your start pointer will be next to this. So if you don't have any denomination, so how will you make any sum? So there is no possible way to make that sum k. Now if you surpass all base conditions, so what you have to return? So I have told you, like take this example, 2, 3, 5, 6, and you have to make the sum k is equals to 10. So either you will take, let's say start pointer is here, so you will take 3 as a denomination, so what you will get 3, 5, 6, and sum you require now is 10, 7, and if you leave the 3, then you will increase the start pointer. Likewise, I said, if you don't want to use 3, just increase the start pointer. If you are using 3, then you don't have to increase the start pointer. Why? Because you can use it again and again, again and again. Likewise, I said you, like in the approach, when we are using 2 again and again. So what I have to return? So 2 is, that is first wave. This is my second wave. Ways change, again recursive, calling the similar function. Coins, providing the coin array of denomination. K minus में coins का start. What I am doing this, you have to make the sum k, and you let's say here you have to use the 3. So if you have to use the 3, then the sum will change. What will it be? K minus में coins at start. K minus में coins at start. So now required sum will be 7. And start will remain here only. Why? Because you can use 3 again and again, like 7. You can use it again, 2, 3, 5, 6, and now the required sum will be 4. That is 7 minus 3. So you can use it again and again. So I won't increase the start here. Okay. So now plus. Why I'm doing plus? Because there are 2 possible ways and both are possible. So both are good. I will count both of them. Ways change. Coins, denomination coin array. Okay, the required sum will not change, because here you are not using 3. If you are not using 3, then the sum will be same. So k and start plus 1. You will increase the start pointer here. And why will you increase it? Likewise, I said before, if you are not using 3, so you won't use it in future. So you have to increase the start pointer to tell that I am using from 5. So start plus 1 and n is the total number of denominations we need here. Okay, so this is my recursive approach code. You can watch this code on my profile link, that is Pradyuman 0. Pradyuman 0 on CodeChef. So this is the code for the recursive approach. Now, if you can see this, like for a k, we have a start. Like what I am saying, for a start you have a k. 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 My approach is revolving around this k and start, k and start. The required sum and the number of possible denominations. The required sum and the number of possible denominations. K and then required sum and number of possible denominations. So my whole approach is revolving around required sum and number of possible denominations. So what if I maintain a DP array, not a DP array? So just let's say this is a memoization solution. This leads to some memoization solution. I will take an 2D array, and minus 1. So I will take a 2D array for every possible k and every possible number of denominations. What I have, like watch here, watch here. Okay, so you want some k is equals to 10 and your start pointer is here, like 0 1 2 second. So 0 1 2 and k is equals to 10 here. So if this value is available here, I can use it without calculating again and again. I can use it if it is present here. So now watch another example. 1 2 3 and the required sum is 4. So you have n is equals to 3 coins of different denominations, 1 2 3, and the required sum you have to make is equals to 4. So now start solving this with a similar approach we discussed before. If you take 1, so 1 2 3 and the required sum will be 4 minus 1 3, or you leave the 1, so 2 and 3 and the required sum will be 4. Again, if you take 1 1 2 3 and the required sum will be 3 minus 1 2. Let's maintain the start pointer. Okay, so now again let's watch after this. If you use 1 2 and 3, so you have to make the another required sum will be 2 from these denominations, and the 1 2 3, then 2 and 3, we are leaving 1 behind, and again the required sum will be 3. So now going here, watch this very carefully. 1 2 3, I am leaving 1, I am increasing the start pointers. Now my start pointer is here and the required sum is 2. And if you watch here, 2 3 4, I am leaving 1 behind, so the required sum will be 4. Now coming here, using 2 and 3, the required sum will be 4 minus 2 2. So the required sum is 2 and the start pointer is on 2. If you watch here and here, we get the similar problem. Start pointer is on 2 and the required sum is 2. Start pointer is on 2, not index, like value 2, and the required sum is also 2. Here start pointer is on 2 and the required sum is also 2. So in recursion we are calculating this similar problem two times, and we can minimize this only calculating this single time. This leads us to the solution memoization. Recursion plus memoization. In this, what you have to do, you have to just make a 2D array. You have to make a 2D array for different values of k and different values of start. So what all k can have? 0 1 2 up to k, and start can go from 0 to n minus 1. 0 to n minus 1. So start can go from 0 to n minus 1 and k can go from 0 to k. Required sum can go from 0 to k and the start can go from 0 to n minus 1. So we'll make a 2D array like this, and when we start calculating a problem, a short problem or a large problem by using recursion, then we will try to save it. Like if I calculate using the 0th, when the start is on 0 and the required sum is 2, so let's say I have 3 ways, so I will put here 3. Okay, so whenever in future if I get the similar problem like start is on 0 and k is on 2, I can use this 3, and if 3 is not present here, I'll calculate it. So by using this, I am doing recursion only one time for every box. For every box I am doing recursive function I am using only one time, single time, only single time. So here my time complexity will decrease. There, when using without memoization, the time complexity is exponential. But here I am calculating. So watch this. This will be my code for the recursive plus memoized approach. So now let's watch this. What I've done here. So you get a DP array, 2D DP array, and initially filled with -1. See, initially filled with -1. This is the DP array. Okay, so this is initially filled with -1. So what I'm doing this, some base conditions similarly to the recursive approach. Now I'm checking if DP at start is not equals to -1. Like if DP at for a problem, I am defining a problem with a start and a k value. So like 2, 3, 5, 6, and the required sum is 10, and let's say k is here. So when start is here and the required sum is 10, this is a problem. You can define a problem like this. So by using the recursive plus memoized approach, if the defined problem is this, you see here in the DP, if there -1 is not filled, it means you have pre-calculated the value in some previous old recursive function. So if I have DP at start and k is not equals to -1, I will use that value which is filled here, not this, but I will fill here. And if this is equals to -1, so I will come here and I will save it. I will calculate it. Firstly, I will calculate it and then save it in the DP array, 2D DP array. And this is the same. Like if I use this, if I use this 5, if I don't use this 5, two ways, taking a plus sign, similar approach to the recursive, and just saving the value for a proper short problem in the DP array. This is a recursive memoized approach. So yes, you can also view my code. This is the perfect code getting a coin. So this is the third solution using dynamic programming. So we will maintain a 2D array. So once again here I will maintain the values of k, the possible values of k, starting from 0 ending at k, that is the given value from the question. And here I will be using, like, this is the start pointer, start pointing to. We have an example 1, 3, 5, 6, 4 denominations, and make the sum k is equals to 10. So 1, 3, 5, 6. So once again a base case, when you have k is equals to 0, it is always possible to make a sum which is equals to 0 by not choosing any denomination. So I will put here 1. What will be my cell? A cell, ith, jth cell. This will be telling me that number of ways to make k using first I denominations. This will be a single cell telling me. Okay, so single cell will tell me the number of ways to make j sum. It is j sum using first I denominations. So if I don't use any denomination, it is always possible to make 0, 1. Okay, so now start with 1. To make a sum of 1, I will require 1. Make a sum of 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To make sum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 with a single denomination of 1, it is always, you can see that I have to manage a 1 coin of 1 rupee. To maintain a sum of 1, I have to take 2 coins of 1 rupees to make a sum 2. Now move to the next 3. If I am using 3, so I have to start it from 3. Like for 1, I won't be able to take any denomination of coin 3. So I will use right here 1, because only single way. I will copy from the above. Only single way, because I won't be able to make a sum equals to 1 by using a denomination which value is 3. Now going to the next 2, again it is impossible, so copying the value from above. 3. Now it is possible to maintain a sum 3 by using a 3 denomination. Now what I will do, If I use 3, so the denomination required is 3 minus 3 equals to 0. So I will watch for 0 in the 3. There is one way, then plus 1, 2, because one way to make a 0 and another I will be using a 3 denomination. I will be using this 3 to make sum equals to 3, so that will be my first way, plus, so I will make 3, so the number of ways to make 0 is also 1, so 1 plus 1 equals to 2. I will write here 2, so there are two possible ways. So there are two possible ways using these two denominations and making the sum 3. Likewise, I will fill this array, then this, and then this. So this is what we get by using dynamic programming. This leads us to a formula: dp at ith jth is equals to dp at ith j minus में points at ith plus dp at ith minus 1 and j. What this conceptually means, dp at ith jth, so I have to make a sum j by using first I denominations. dp at ith j minus में points at ith. I already told you I will be using the ith coin denomination. So if I use that, so my required sum will be dp at ith j minus में points at ith. If I am using the ith denominated coin, and if I don't use it, then this I minus 1 and j, because the required sum will be remain same, j. And if I am not using ith, then I have to decrease I minus 1. Let's say if I is equals to 5, no, coins at ith is equals to 5. So if you are not using it and again you have to make the sum 10, so what will you do? You will see that how many possible ways to make 10 by using 1 and 3. Okay, so you are moving to the short problem to fill a dp. If you are solving this, then you are using this array. So for every array, we are using its previous array to fill this array. So like for this array to be filled, I am using this array. So for ith array, I am using I minus 1th array, which is already filled because I will be looping like this. So this is the formula. Also you have to keep in mind this cannot be less than 0. So j, if j minus में points at ith less than equals to 0, then only I can do this. Okay, I have already told you, because there is no meaning of getting a k value less than 0. We cannot make a sum which value is less than 0. A negative value cannot make a sum whose value is negative. Okay, and if this condition doesn't hold good, so else dp at ith jth is equals to dp at ith I minus 1 and j. You cannot use ith denomination to make a sum j. So what you are doing, you are just moving to the before array and you are putting that similar value in the cell. Likewise you are doing here and here and here. So this is the formula. You can watch my solution, the particular deep dynamic programming solution on let's see. On this link you can watch my dp solution. Like I have written a pre-dp code, I have submitted it, it is completely correct. So you can watch my code using this approach. So you can watch it here. Now this, you if you see what I'm using, I'm for ith jth, for filling ith array I'm using I minus 1th array. For filling ith array I'm using I minus 1th array. For ith array I'm using I minus 1th array. So what I will do, and I just need this array to fill this array. I just need this array to fill this array. I just need this array to fill this array. So why I'm maintaining this whole part again and again? I just need a previously filled array to save this. This leads to me saving my time complexity by doing this leads me to save my time complexity. Likewise I said, for filling ith array you just need I minus 1th array to be filled. So you can maintain a just a 2D array which have only two arrays, a0th, dp, you can use the name dp, and always use like k, starting from 0 it ends till k. So to use always, to solve this you can use this. Now so I've written this short pseudocode. To tell you how I am decreasing the space complexity. So I am maintaining only two single D arrays, two single D arrays of size k. So at cell this. Okay, so watch from here. ith and jth. This is a short pseudocode for the dynamic programming approach. So what I'm doing, see, for ith I need I minus 1 and ith I need ith I minus 1. So what I'm doing, I can fill this value by using this array. So let's maintain a integer flag is equals to 1. Okay, so what I'm doing, just use here instead of I use flag. Instead of I, you can use flag, and instead of I minus 1, you can use not flag. So what I'm doing, I'm saving this, and once I save this array completely, then I change flag values. This will be my going here. So after I save this array, I have to save this array by using this array. So you can toggle on flag. So toggle, very important word here. You can use flag variable to toggle on this array, these array again and again. So by to solve this, you can use this array. Now again in the next ith loop, you can solve this array by using this array. In the next ith loop, you can solve this array by using this, then this, then this. So this will decrease my space complexity. You can watch my solution. So now watch this. Till now I have discussed a 2D using two single D's array, a DP solution. So now decreasing this space complexity one more time, you see this pseudocode. So what I'm using to fill a DP at ithjth, I'm using a previously filled array and a column, previously filled array and the column of the previously filled array, similar column, or currently filling array and the column which is filled till now. You can see this. I am filling j like from starting, and I am using the previous value of j filled in the current array. In the current array, if I am filling this, so for filling this, I am using either this array, this column, okay, or this array, any column from this part. So for filling a array, what I am using, I am a previously filled array, or I am using a filled array which is filling now onwards, and the filled before this column is going to be filled. So can you compile this in a single D array? Yes, I will tell you how. Let's say you have filled this array in I is equals to 1. Okay, so now I is equals to 2. When I is equals to 2, you have to fill this array again. So what you will do, you will start filling this from this. Okay, start, write a code such that you can use the previously filled values to fill a particular column at a time, and use this column filled before this cell to fill this cell. Okay, so again to fill this cell, you have to use previously filled array values which are present here, okay, and previously present here only. And now also you have to use the column values which are being filled now onwards in this I is equals to 2th loop. So you have to use this value. So you can do this in a single D array. Just wait for the code, then you will get to know more easy. So this is the code for using a single D array. Now I'll try to explain you this. So this is the code. So this will be the code for you this will be the code for using a single D array. So now let's watch this code and I will try to explain you. So you have to do the loop n times because of n denominations, like as I said in the previous DP solutions. And for j0 to k, now if j is greater than or equals to points at I minus 1, I told you before that you cannot have a sum whose value is negative because that's an absurd thing, you can't make it. So if j is greater than or equals to points at I minus 1, dp at j plus equals to number of ways to calculate dp at j minus में points at I minus 1. You are decreasing the sum, like just say you have to make the sum 10 and start pointer is on 5. So what you will do, you said I will take the 5, so by decreasing the 5 you will get 10 minus 5 equals to 5. Okay, so now what you will do, you will see if it is possible to make the sum 5 by using the previous array. Using the previous array, that value is to be filled where? Here, like 5 here and 10 here. So here 5 dp at 5 will have the complete number of ways to make the sum 5 by using these till here values denominations. So to make 10, what you will do, dp at 10 is equals to dp at 10 is equals to dp at 10 minus 5 dp at 5 plus equals to, so to make 10, number of denominations will counted, number of ways will be counted to number of ways count to make 5. So this is how you can solve this problem using a single D array. By watching this code, you can completely understand the code. Also, this is a pseudo code. If you want a perfect solution, you can watch my code on so you can watch my code on this link and you'll get to know how you are using this code to solve that solution which is requiring exponential solution in the first place, and now it can be solved in a n into k time complexity with a space of only O of k big. So in this approach, if you have to fill this cell like this column, so what you require? You require previously filled array in this column only and columns which are filled till now. Okay, so columns which are filled till now is present in the single D array. Okay, perfect. And if you want the previously filled array, this column value, so which is present here only. Okay, so you can see we have decreased the array size from using n single D arrays to using 2 single D arrays, then using 1 single D array. You can see once again, if you have to fill this cell, you require cell value, this column value in the previously filled array, which is already present in this cell in this array. Okay, and the previously filled columns in this array. So you have both the terms in a single D. So why don't you use single D? This reduces space complexity. So yes, this is my last solution and you can view this on this link. You can view my code. So that's it from my side. Thank you.